Welcome to Body Cams Canada, where corruption is exposed and transparency is alive.
We're taking part in an investigation that's really serious.
Okay.
And if you don't leave right now, you're going to be arrested for obstruction.
Arrest me right now.
Today we are in Toronto, Ontario, and we are about to watch one of the most concerning interactions we have ever covered. In this video, you will see Constable Kevin Slack and his partner arrest a man for saying hello. You have to see this to believe it. Even more concerning, there are allegations of Kevin Slack attempting to delete this very video we are watching. Let's get into this.
These guys got two. Now, as soon as I walk up here, guys, what are they doing? Both of them on their phones, looking down, just chilling, wasting taxpayer dollars is what it looks like to me. The MWS doesn't have much on it. So you're gonna see through this interaction, it is silence, except for this first greeting right here. He said, "Hi," I nodded. I said, "How are ya?" He nodded. I said, "Good stuff." That was the end of it. How are ya? Good stuff.
MWS is short for Mobile Workstation. This workstation is similar to a laptop, and police are able to provide and receive information on it. Some things they might use the MWS for would be running license plates, checking a suspect's criminal background, safety alerts, pictures of suspects, information on investigations, and more. This MWS in Toronto Police Unit 5107 was empty, which tells me they were not investigating anything. Now they seem to be discussing Canada Cop Watch and are no longer interested in their alleged investigation.
Now the second thing I noticed is this is where they activate the in-car camera and purposely point it at me to let me know that they're filming. If they were on a serious investigation, the in-car camera would have been rolling, their body cameras would have been rolling, but as you could see, they're not, guys. Trying to use their cameras as intimidation again. That shit don't work, guys.
Stick around until the end of the video. In a few minutes, Canada Cop Watch will be arrested for obstruct a peace officer ×2, one charge for each officer. These two officers allege they are on a very serious investigation and it is being obstructed. Take note where the officer's attention has been since the beginning of this video. They haven't seemed to look up and away from their phones. You would think they would be focused on the investigation, but the more I see, the more I doubt this investigation exists. In most cases, we would fast forward through the silence for the sake of time. However, in this video, it is extremely important to take note of the silence during this interaction. This video shows that uneducated officers are not only attempting to control public record, but they are willing to take our freedom for exercising our rights peacefully. We will look at some case law shortly that confirms these officers have abused their authority, and they are both an embarrassment to the Toronto Police Service and Canada as a whole.
As he's texting away, my stomach starts rumbling, guys. We had a long day. We were out for about 10 hours. We went to 11 Division, 12 Division, 31 Division. We filmed a OD in the Jane and Finch Mall parking lot.
You're the best. Thanks, man.
I had an interaction in the morning where a guy was being arrested. We must have ran into 40 or 50 officers that day. No issues, guys. No issues. The end of the day now, there's a place called Afro's right across the street from here. That's the original reason why I parked. When I seen these guys, I said, you know what, I'm gonna see what they're doing. As I looked into the restaurant, it was packed. It's such a small place, 10 people in there will pack it up. So I said, okay, I gotta wait for this empty out a little bit. And I just kept filming them. I was watching the place. You're gonna see right here, I back up towards the restaurant just to look in and see how many people are still in there. When I looked in, it was still packed. So I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna give it another couple minutes, and then I just gotta go stand in the line if it doesn't start to empty out, right? But yeah, let's get into it, guys. This is the restaurant here. If you guys even walk by this intersection, You're gonna smell it. I highly recommend it. Stop in and grab something to eat, guys. I didn't see it when I walked over to the restaurant. He switched from texting to talking. So whoever he was speaking to, it was a quick conversation, but this is what he does immediately after that conversation, guys. It gets crazy.
I gotta let you know something, okay? You're being recorded, first of all. Okay, second of all, we're taking part in an investigation that's really serious.
Okay.
Okay, and if you don't leave right now, you're gonna be arrested for obstruction.
Arrest me right now. Yeah, I'm on a public sidewalk. Get your stupid ass out the car and come arrest me. Come arrest me. Fuck, I'm on a public sidewalk. I'd like to see this. Yes, sir.
You can turn it off.
And there you go, people. You can be arrested in Canada for filming peacefully from a public sidewalk.
Let's have a quick look at the body camera angle of this arrest.
I gotta let you know something, okay? You're being recorded, first of all. Okay, second of all, we're taking part in an investigation that's really serious.
Okay.
Okay, and if you don't leave right now, you're gonna be arrested for obstruction.
Arrest me right now. Yeah, I'm on a public sidewalk. Get your stupid ass out the car and come arrest me. Come arrest me.
Drawing attention to it, that's why.
Fuck, I'm on a public sidewalk. I'd like to see this. Yes, sir.
You can turn it off. Put it in your pocket.
Alright. I'm gonna put it in my pocket.
Okay, you're under arrest for obstruction.
It's crazy, but the story doesn't end here, guys. If you think that was crazy, it gets insane. What this officer tried to do in the police station is unheard of. It's illegal, and he should be charged for it. I'll tell you that right now.
Before we get into that, here's a quick clip of Canada Cop Watch being released from 51 Division. The most concerning part of this whole story is what was happening inside this police station. Stay tuned to see what Constable Kevin Slack and his partner attempted to do to cover up this unlawful arrest.
Charged with filming in public, 51 Division. No laces. Vest in the bag. They tried to stop me, guys. I'm back though.
Immediately upon arrest, guys, I always lawyer up. Every time, I just want my lawyer at this point.
I'm getting arrested, my people. I'm not listening. I want a lawyer. If I'm under arrest, I want a lawyer. 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 Lawyer.
Always lawyer up, people, 100%. If you talk to them, it can only hurt you. It will never help you after you're arrested. Always remember that. Somehow, Constable Slack didn't get the memo that when somebody lawyers up, he's not supposed to talk to them anymore. The police are supposed to cut all communication with the people they are arresting after they ask for their lawyer. You're going to see why as we continue with the story. So I get processed. The staff sergeant doesn't want nothing to do with it, guys. He tells me he's just there to book me and he's not a part of the investigation. He asks me, do I want my lawyer? Again, I say yes. They send me to an interview room, put me in this interview room. Across the hall from the interview room is a lawyer booth, soundproof. So I'm waiting to go talk to my lawyer. These two officers that arrested me come in. So they have some stupid question about my lawyer's name spelling, just confirming who the lawyer is. My question for them is, am I getting bail on my own recognizance, or is it going to be a show cause bail where I have to go in front of a judge and fight for it and blah, blah, blah. They said it's going to be a show cause bail. I said, all right, no problem. So they leave the room and they return in about 20 minutes. They say, we spoke to a detective and he wants to release you on a Form 10, but there's going to be 2 conditions. All right, what are the conditions? First condition is your phone either goes to tech crimes, it could take up to a year, or we're going to take your phone and we're going to retrieve the video upstairs and then delete the video from your phone. I looked at them like they've got 7 heads, guys. I said, are you guys crazy? Are you guys feeling okay? Are you guys out of your minds? Where's your staff sergeant? Oh, he's not here. He's not available. Where's the detective? He's not available. You're going to speak to us right now. This is getting crazy, guys. Insane.
The destruction of evidence by a police officer after an arrest is a serious offense with legal, ethical, and professional consequences. Here's a breakdown of the potential charges. 1. Criminal charges. Destroying evidence is a crime, and depending on the jurisdiction, police officers may face the following charges. Obstruction of justice. Willfully interfering with a legal process by destroying evidence that could be used in an investigation or trial. Tampering with evidence, knowingly altering, concealing, or destroying evidence with the intent to impair its use in a criminal proceeding. Perjury or making false statements. If the officer falsely claims the evidence never existed or provides misleading information about it. Misconduct in public office. A broader charge that applies to officers abusing their authority by acting dishonestly or unlawfully. Conspiracy. If multiple officers are involved in the destruction of evidence. Accessory after the fact. If evidence was destroyed to protect another person from prosecution.
I told them, you guys are crazy. It's not happening. You guys are not touching my phone to erase nothing. They keep trying to tell me about it's the investigation that they were on and they don't want something out there that was on the investigation. This is public, guys. Downtown Toronto, evening time, about 7 p.m. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make it up. They tried for the body camera. They wanted my password, request denied. They wanted me to erase it, request denied. It's not happening. Listen, there's been a lot of people reaching out, just saying that they hope I'm okay and they're sorry I went through this. Guys, don't be sorry. Don't have sympathy for me when I get arrested filming the police. I'm prepared to do it. I understand that these dirty cops will cross the line sometimes, but I'm also prepared for what happens after it. So don't feel sorry for me. I appreciate it. I love all you guys. But this is why we do this, to make case law. We do this so when they bring us in front of the courts, we're able to make them look stupid and make case law, which is going to protect everybody else. Just when you thought it was over, you thought wrong. A couple of days before my arrest, there was another interaction between MadLab Press, Audit in Canada, and Slack. This was at a weed dispensary. It was being raided, and again, Slack had Officer ADD and couldn't keep his attention on his own investigation. They spotted MadLab Press, and you know they have it out for him, being an ex-officer of 24 years, now one of the best cop watchers in Canada. They don't like him, guys. So immediately they start getting on their phones and looking at him and approaching him and surrounding him. So Slack is the one that surrounds him. Let's get into this and see what happens at this interaction. Now what you're gonna watch is Slack, who's on the right of the screen, walk up and whisper something to the officer that's right in front of him. That officer then picks up his phone and makes a call. Immediately after he's finished his call, he walks up to Mad Lab Press. Let's get into this, guys.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
That's the sneaky whisper that nobody else seen because he probably closed his eyes when he spoke.
Four cops for a lock.
And next, the phone call to the scared shitless of camera unit. Next, the body camera game starts. They don't activate them for the raid when they're breaking in someone's property, but they activate them for the cameras. And then, just in case they have to beat them, tase them, or use deadly force, they put on their gloves and turn around and approach Mad Lab Press.
You're getting flanked.
And you'll see Kevin Slack, thinking he's invisible again, sneaks up behind Mad Lab Press, paying no attention to the investigation that they're currently
This guy's
on.
flanking you for no reason. He's trying to intimidate you for no reason. I want to get his name and badge number. This guy's. Excuse me, officer. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What's your name and badge number?
It's right here on my chest.
Can I see?
There and there.
Okay. Stop
Have a
intimidating.
great day, okay?
You will have a better day. Stop intimidating people. Why have you just flanked my friend for no reason?
Standing here.
No,
minding my
you
own
just
business.
got into his back.
No, that's
Yeah, yeah, you tried to intimidate him. I got you on
Standing here, minding my
camera.
own business, and
No,
you
you
come
were
up
not.
for no
You were
reason
not.
whatsoever.
You were not.
Making up
Don't
lies.
lie.
Okay.
Don't lie. You've been caught on camera.
And just to put the icing on the cake, shout out True North Transparency. Go to his channel and subscribe. True North went out to the very same spot where I got arrested, guys. I tuned into a YouTube live stream and I seen him standing at the same spot. There was a cop car there. They were picking up food at the time. Guys, he did the exact same thing that I did. These officers did what they're supposed to do. Went about their business, went to fight some crime. As for Kevin Slack, that guy's gonna kill somebody one day. The part that worries me is if he would do this to me, who at the time, he didn't know I was Canada Cop Watch until they whipped my vest on the ground when I was in the cruiser. That's when they ended up picking up the vest, which was the last thing, and he seen the patch and said, "Oh, Canada Cop Watch." And man, his energy shifted from there. So I could only imagine what's happening to the young boys out here when he catches them alone at night. God knows what this guy's doing, how many people he's locked up for doing absolutely nothing.
I'm downtown Toronto, guys. Can everybody hear me? You guys just chill here all night? Is that what you do? Where's the other guy? So we got De Guzman here. Who's this fucking guy? So I'm exactly where Canada Cop Watch was when he got arrested. So this is exactly where Canada Cop Watch got arrested the other night. So the cops were sitting in exactly the same place as the others. And just in case they decided to be assholes to me, I went live. Okay, Mad Lab. Yeah, he was kidnapped for sure. What they did to him was the most illegal things I've ever heard happening in this city. Like, of all the goddamn things I've ever heard of anybody doing, these guys did the worst. The 51 Division, unfucking believable.
Let's have a look at the oath of office that every police officer must take. I solemnly swear, affirm, that I will be loyal to Her Majesty the Queen and to Canada, and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as a member of the Toronto Police Services Board, faithfully, impartially and according to the Police Services Act, any other act, and any regulation, rule, or bylaw, so help me God. On the third line, it specifically mentions the Constitution of Canada. Let's jump over to the Constitution of Canada. Specifically the Constitution Act 1982. The first part of the Constitution Act 1982 is the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It prevents the federal, provincial, and territorial governments from infringing on Canadian rights and freedoms. Part 1. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Whereas Canada is founded upon principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law. Guaranteed Rights and Freedoms 1. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms guarantees the rights and freedoms set out in it, subject only to such reasonable limits, prescribed by law as can be demonstrably justified in a free and democratic society. Fundamental Freedoms 2. Everyone has the following fundamental freedoms. A. Freedom of conscience and religion. B. Freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication. C. Freedom of peaceful assembly. And D. Freedom of association. Considering Constable Kevin Slack and his partner have seemed to miss all of this, we will get into some Supreme Court case law, which has been converted into a video format. Hopefully these two uneducated constables are able to understand what their position in society is.
Her Majesty and Xeraphonitis, which is a 2013 decision of the Ontario Court of Justice. I'll include a link to the full decision below in the description. And in that case, an Ontario Court of Justice hearing was held in order to determine the appropriate sentencing for a police officer who had pled guilty of assault causing bodily harm. So this was a police officer who assaulted another person and had pled guilty to it, and the question was what would be the appropriate sentence. And in this case, the defendant police officer was an officer who attended at a bar in response to several noise complaints, and there have been recurring noise complaints at this particular bar. And at that time, there happened to be a professional photographer in the bar who had been hired to take pictures of a rap competition. And so, of course, the police officer comes in, and you have a professional photographer with a camera. The camera turns around, and he starts taking photographs of the police interacting with individuals in the bar. And when the police ejected people from the bar, the photographer followed along and continued to take photographs out in the street of the interactions between the police and others with whom those police officers were interacting. Now, at that point, the cop ordered the photographer to stop taking photos and then told the photographer to leave the area. Now, when the photographer refused, the police officer arrested the photographer for public intoxication, a regulatory offense under Ontario's liquor control regulations. And in the course of arresting the photographer, the cop punched the photographer while subduing him, breaking bones in his face. So a significant assault or a significant use of force in making that arrest. And so the officer was charged with assault causing bodily harm, which was deemed to be excessive. The force used was excessive, and it was also admitted to be excessive. So the question was what sentence was going to be appropriate. And so in determining the appropriateness of the sentence, the court went through kind of what happened and what were the different interests that were at play. And so this is from the decision, starting at paragraph 24. The court says, in the course of the submissions, I asked Mr. McKay, that would be the lawyer for the police officer, whether or not the direction to stop photographing was a lawful direction. I eventually got an answer that I take to be the only sound answer to that question. Unless Mr. Faraka's, that's the photographer, unless Mr. Faraka's presence or actions were creating a danger to him or to others, ordering him to stop photographing was not a lawful command on Mr. Zarafinitis' part. And the court then says this is not a trivial matter. The court then goes on to talk about the interaction between the police and the public, and particularly the right of the public to take photographs in circumstances like this. And the court notes, and this is applicable across the board, police-citizen interaction typically involves a significant power imbalance. Now, when it comes to photographers, the court says in the absence of an overarching and tangible safety concern, such as telling a photographer at a fire scene to back away if there's a danger that the building will collapse on him, the court emphasizes telling people not to record these interactions, whether they be a bystander or the person the police is dealing with. So if you are being questioned, this is an aside, if you are being questioned by a police officer, you would have the right to record that. The court then goes, and it's not a lawful exercise of police power. An officer who conducts himself reasonably has nothing to fear from an audio, video, or photographic record of his interaction with the public. And just an aside again here, I've had conversations with police officers who have said to me that frankly, their actions in public and frankly in private should withstand public scrutiny and should withstand scrutiny of a record being made of what their actions are. And so don't object to any recordings being made. So the court then goes on and says the public has a right to use means at their disposal to record their interactions with the police, something that many police services themselves do through in-car cameras and similar technology. The officer's powers exist to allow him to protect the public and himself and to enforce the law, and they do not extend to controlling the public record of what happened. The maintenance of that public record plays a significant role in the maintenance of the rule of law. The existence of this form of objective oversight has great potential to minimize abuses of authority and to maintain peaceable interaction between police and the citizenry, all of which is very much in the public interest. Interference by a police officer in the public's exercise of that right is a significant abuse of authority. So in this case, the court is clearly saying that taking records of police actions is in fact beneficial, and any interference by the police in the public's right to do that is a significant abuse of authority.